Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, joins us this morning. The Coach's Corner presented by Collier Motors Paint and Body in Sylacauga. And for all your paint and body needs for your vehicle, it's Norman Collier at Collier Motors Paint and Body, 256-249-2900. Well, it was Rock'em Sock'em high-scoring football game last Friday night with Central of Clay County.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what we thought it would be. It was two good football teams going at it. Neither one of them could stop each other, and it was going to be one of those things that whoever had the ball last wins. And, you know, they got a score on us quick, and we played catch-up the entire game. And, you know, we really feel we were down on the 10 right there at the about 4 or 5 minutes left. And if we score right there, it's a 49-42 game. Then you got an onside kick and stuff because, you know, getting the 2 scores down probably hurt us. But
one thing that I'm sure that you guys noticed and your team noticed, you had difficulty throwing the football.
Yeah, and you know, we went in a situation. A lot of the throwing the football was, I mean, we dropped 4 or 5 passes in our hands, and you know, we threw 15 times, and we probably had 3 or 4 dropped, and that makes it difficult. So you know, when people wonder why you don't throw it, you know, well, you hand it to a back. You know, because if he's getting 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, and your kids can't catch, so you run the football, and that's what happened with Alex. We just kept feeding him, and he responded and had a heck of a game.
I've not seen a game with both teams combined offense 1,000 yards.
Right.
Alex Thomason, it seemed like he got stronger as the night went along.
He did, and you know what? He was hurt early on in the game. He got hit in the shin, and then he turns an ankle and refuses to go out, and has that type of game on a turned ankle. And you know, we've been putting him on shutdown all week. He's 50-50 whether he plays Friday night. He's really, really still recovering from carrying the ball that many times against a very hard-hitting defense. So, but I mean, listen, I don't know if I've ever seen a performance like that from a running back.
I think it's 366 yards or something like that, and your quarterback over 150 yards too.
He did. You know, Jackson to me played one of his best games, and we told him all week, you know, the biggest thing about it, good or great players have big games in big games. You know, they have a great game in big games, and both those guys responded well, or we don't stay in that ball game. They both played tremendously.
Just seemed like we could never get the stop defensively.
Especially in the second half. But, you know, we lost Jacob Daniel early, and then we lost Cole.
Probably your best linebacker.
The best linebacker we've got. We lost Cole Grogan early to a shoulder injury. Cole's our nickel back when we go into a nickel package, and that hurt us defensively. We're having to play some kids we normally don't play. And then listen, but hats off, Clay had tremendous weapons. You know, the Wallace kid, Gerald Wallace's boy, is a D1 football player, and they do a good job of getting the ball. 6 and 5, their quarterback and running backs were both very good. And, you know, like we said earlier, you know, their coaching staff woke up this summer, changed their offense, managed to get the ball in a lot of people's hands finally now. So, you know, hats off. They've won the region. I think they'll go well in the playoffs. They've got a good football team.
Well, you have them 3rd and long, 4th and long, and just can't close the deal.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, like I said, when they can throw it to a kid out there in a little tunnel screen, and he can take it to the house and those kind of things, you know, speed kills. That's an old saying, and you know, you better be fortunate when you have it. And they've got a lot of team speed, and we're very average on our team speed right now.
It was a very, very physical football game.
Very much so. We are very banged up. We're very concerned going into Friday night. We've probably got 2 or 3 guys out. We've got 2 or 3 guys that are 50-50 whether they play Friday night, and that concerns us, even though Cleveland County's not having a good year, but they are very well coached. They're very hard-nosed. They're used to winning over there. And, you know, we're going in with a lot of second-team guys that are having to play, and we're concerned. There's no doubt about that.
It was a disappointing loss for Sylacauga in a game that had a lot of stuff on the line for playoff positioning. And has it been a challenge this week to get those kids back up to play another game?
Well, I think so. I think we've battled not only kids physically being banged up, but I think we've battled that mental letdown of. And if you went to that game, you realize how hard our kids fought all the way to the end to win that game. They knew what was at stake. You can't ask high school kids to fight any harder than our kids did. And there's a little bit of a mental lug right now with our kids. They're disappointed. We've had to pick them back up. Yesterday was a little bit better than Monday and Tuesday. You know, Monday was, we were really eased in. Tuesday, we could tell they needed another day to recover. Yesterday was better. But that's the beauty about high school football is, listen, you've got to play the next game. You've got to get up. That's the lesson that athletics teaches kids that you can't learn in the academic setting of. That's life. Life's full of disappointments. You can't let life beat you. You've got to continue to strive, continue to live, continue to do those things. And that's what I love about sports.
Sylacauga, a playoff-bound team, Cleveland County and Heflin on Friday night, and that can be a trap game. They're not going anywhere.
They're not.
But they would love to beat Sylacauga.
Sure, and it's their last home game. You know, you're going to get a good game out of them. And like I said, you know, Mike Short has been the head coach over there for 20 years. Mike's probably only had 2 to 3 losing seasons in a 20-year period. They're only a year away from being 4A and being a 9-3 football team. He's very young. He's got some young kids up front. So that's why they've struggled this year. But they are good enough, especially with us limping into this game. They're a quality football team with a quality coaching staff, and we're going to have to play on both sides of the football in the kicking game to beat them.
For people who may not understand the ins and outs of playoff positioning and things like that, this is a region game with Cleveland County. Then you have a 10th game against Calera. How does this all play out that you see now?
We've seen every scenario. I don't think there's any way we can't be third. And what's happened is we scheduled Calera before the state sets the brackets up. When the state set the brackets up, we're Region 4, they're Region 3, and they lump those two together. So what will happen is we'll play Calera game 10. We're third, they're second in their region. 2 and 3 always play, and we will play at Calera the first round of the playoffs. So it's a unique situation. I've heard of it before. I remember back in the late 90s, I think Pelham and Hewitt Trustwell or Vestavia played game 10 and then played the first round. So I've heard of it before, but it's a rarity.
Pretty unusual, isn't it?
It is very unusual.
Yeah. Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, our guest this morning. The Aggies losing a heartbreaker to Central of Clay County. Looking at it defensively, you lost a couple of guys during the game, and that defense was challenged throughout the night against a high-powered offense.
It was. You know, Jacob Daniels, our best linebacker, he went down early. He's got some strained tendons and ligaments in his ankle. He will not play Friday night. It will be 50-50 whether he plays next Friday night. We think he'll be a full tilt for the playoffs. We lost Cole Grogan. Cole's got a slight tear in a labrum, but it's on the back end. There's not a whole lot they can do about it when the back end just let it heal. He will be back this week, and we're probably going to move him to a free safety type situation to get him out from the line of scrimmage some more than that nickel back. You know, of course, Alex is hurt. You know, he's 50-50 right there. You know, we've got some challenges, but, you know, we tell our kids all the time. We tell our second team, you tell your third team, you know, you're one play away from being the starter. You've got to pay attention in practice. And, you know, I think 50 to 60% of kids, they lack that paying attention focus a lot of times. So we've had some young kids to focus up this week, get ready to play, and we're going to kick it off at 7 o'clock and see if those kids respond.
All right, traveling to Cleveland County to take on the Tigers there. That's kick at 7 o'clock. We'll be back with Coach Matt Griffith again next Thursday as the regular season is winding down. The Coach's Corner brought to you by Collier Motors Paint and Body. Coach, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
More on Daybreak coming up.